girl KeAndra, and I'm back with another video. So this video is going to be a conclusion of my moving series. I've taken you guys along with me for like the past week and a half on my journey, and even though I'm not really done, even though I'm not really done moving everything in, I'm almost maybe 75% done. So what I've decided to do is just hold off on the vlogs and just update you guys with a fully furnished tour. So just keep a lookout for that. But I've been getting a lot of questions, and I decided to do this video because, like I said, I was getting a lot of questions, but also because even though I was kind of upset about like people like asking me like where I stayed and all that other stuff, I realized that some people didn't have any ill intent, and that they just kind of, had questions and just genuinely wanted to know for themselves and not to be nosy. So I'm going to do some tips on moving out on your own, and as far as like how much I saved and how did I find my townhome and all of that. So if you want to stay tuned for that, then keep on watching. Okay, so first off, when you're getting ready to move out on your own, I think it's important to research, well, actually I take that back. I think it's important to have a budget. Whenever it comes to you moving somewhere, I would say make sure that wherever you're moving is A, close to your job, and 2, within your means. For my case, and this is just mainly, I'm combining all my moving experiences in one video, not just this particular move. But I remember when I moved to Atlanta, I found an apartment that was, I think, 10 to 15 minutes from my job. And I never saw the apartment, and thank God I loved the apartment once I got there. But I wasn't even able to see the apartment because I don't think they had one to view. But having an apartment that is close to your job, to me, like, outweighs like all of that stuff. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think what was wrong in my apartment. Really nothing was wrong in my apartment because I had everything I wanted in my apartment. But let's just say I did it. It being close to my job was it just made it that much better. And that's just because I'm a stickler on time and being late and stuff. I hate it. So, for those days where you don't want to get up, it just helped having a place close to my job. And then B, staying in my budget. Let's see, I had an apartment before this apartment, before I moved to Atlanta. That one, I made sure to find an apartment that had pretty much everything on my list. So the things I wanted, whether it was a washer and dryer, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, hardwood floors, but within my budget. And you have to understand that even though it doesn't check every box on your list, it needs to check. If it checks like majority of them, then it's okay. You're not settling, but you're just kind of getting what you can afford. So my apartment before I moved to Atlanta, that apartment had everything but a microwave and a washer and dryer. Which eventually I just got like a cheap microwave off of OfferUp. It was probably like $20. Actually, no. I got that microwave from my brother. I sold it on OfferUp. But either way, you can get microwaves cheap for wherever, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, or if you stay in a college town, normally when it's time to go back to school, that's when Walmart, Target, all of them have all of these sales, and everything is super cheap. I know this time around when I moved, I got a toaster for $5 because school is about to start back. So yeah, just make sure you make a list, and then see what apartment checks every box or the most boxes, but it's still within your budget. So yeah, I had to sacrifice a washer and dryer, which my apartment complex had a facility, so I would just wash there. And then I sacrificed not having a microwave, but I still had stainless steel appliances. I had hardwood floors, I had granite countertops, like all of that. It was definitely livable, and then it was close to my job. So yeah. Okay, next, when it comes to saving, I always say to have at least 3 times the amount of your rent saved before you move anywhere. Simply because you gotta have that much to qualify, or you have to make that much to qualify for your apartment anyways. So say something happens, say you just up and move and you don't have a job, you know you at least have 3 months of rent saved up so you won't be homeless. Or say, you know, you pay your rent. In most rent places, they have specials. So you either get like your first month's free or you get like 2 weeks off. That extra money, you can use that to buy furniture, to buy things for your house, to decorate, stuff like that. So when it comes to how much I saved, I personally stayed home for a long time. I stayed home for about 9 months. So I would save like between like $500 to $1,000 per check from my job. So that's how I was able to move out and actually get like the furniture and stuff that I want, because I saved a lot of money. But I've moved out with less. When I moved to Atlanta, I had no money. All I had was my first month's rent. I had a job though. So if you're gonna do that and move with no money, at least have a job lined up once you get there. But I had a job lined up and I still didn't get paid until like 2 or 3 weeks after that. So granted, I was okay. I think I had like maybe $40 to my name once I moved, paid my rent when I moved to Atlanta, $40 to my name, and used that for gas and groceries. And you guys, I can eat cereal every day. I can eat ramen noodles every day. I can eat sandwiches every day. Like, I did what I had to do so that I can live in Atlanta, and that's what worked out for me. I don't recommend just up and moving with no money, but I'm just telling you it's possible. This time around, I had so much money saved, especially with this pandemic. I wasn't like spending a lot of money on like food or gas or anything, because I wasn't going anywhere, and I was staying at home, so I didn't have rent. So the only thing I had to pay was like my car note and my car insurance, my student loans, and my phone bill. So I was saving a lot of money. So because of that, I was able to move and get the furniture that I want. This is the first time I've probably moved somewhere and I didn't have like a hand-me-down couch or a hand-me-down bed or borrowed furniture from a family member or a friend. Everything in this house is brand new. So yeah, make sure you save. I'm not gonna give you guys a number because it's just kind of up to you. But me personally, I've done it both ways. I would recommend having at least 3 months of your rent saved before you move somewhere. But if you don't have any money saved, at least have your first month rent and maybe some food stamps, I don't know, and then you should be good. Third of all, people are asking me how to look for or find the perfect apartment or townhome, whatever in your area. So a lot of places, especially newer apartments, they have apartments where they have like regular like flats, you know, apartments, and they have like loft apartments, and they have townhome apartments. So it just kind of depends on your area and where you're looking. Apartment List was my best friend. Apartment List and apartments.com. Now this particular place where I stay is on there, but that's not how I personally found it. But every other apartment that I found on apartments.com or Apartment List. And what I would do is Google where they are in like in accordance to my job. That's what I would do, and that's how I would find places. Now, this place that I live in now, I worked here before, so that's how I knew about this place. But yeah, apartments.com and Apartment List are your best friend. Definitely read the reviews. Always read the reviews. One thing I will say is, for me, I worked in leasing for 5 years in housing, so I know how it kind of goes. Like, you kind of know what and what not to expect. If you're looking at like an older apartment, like an apartment built before 2003 or whatever, you're gonna get those complaints like, oh, this is old, oh, they have this, oh, they have that. I look for reviews to see if they have roaches, because that's a big deal, because don't nobody want roaches. I look to see when the building was built. I look to see what kind of appliances they have, what kind of renovations they have. All of that stuff is important. 9 times out of 10, the renovations are new appliances and a new coat of paint. Like, just being honest. So I then look at the area. So when I see that, like seeing like, oh, we have new renovated units, that don't impress me. All I know is that y'all switched out the old ass appliances and y'all put some new paint on there. That's what that means. That's what renovations mean, y'all. So I look for that kind of stuff, but then I also look for the area. I look to see if it's mostly like not students, like college. I mean, I'm pretty sure my audience is probably either in college or early adulthood. I try to look for that, make sure it's not like student housing, but I also don't like family housing either. And there are apartments where like for instance, mine are more kind of luxury, but I do have families over here. But because I stay in a townhome and I'm upstairs and downstairs, like I don't really hear anything, so that's good. But if I was staying on the apartment side of my complex, there's not a lot of kids over there. Most of the kids are in the townhome side, so I know there's kids over here because they have a playground over there, but like I don't hear them because of how my home is set up. So just keep that in mind if you do stay. I know when I stayed in Atlanta, our apartment was right by the playground, so there would be kids playing basketball, soccer, and they actually kicked in and broke a window in our sunroom. So yeah, I always look at the tours online, and if you see a playground and you don't like kids, don't stay there. Last but not least, as far as pricing goes, I had a lot of people asking me like, how much this costs, how much is that, how much is your place? It honestly depends. Number one, it depends on your lease term, how much you're gonna pay, and number two, it depends on what specials you catch, and it depends on I know a lot of apartment complexes work with Yardi, and Yardi is like a system where they give you rates for your apartments, and it literally changes every day. So like you can get this apartment for $900 one day and then $1,200 the next day. Like it literally like changes all the time. But you kind of, if you look online or you type in what you want, if you know you want stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, hardwood floors, like just know you're gonna be paying at least $800 and up. You know, if you want 2 bedrooms, you're gonna be paying at least, and all those things I named with washer and dryer included, all of that, you're gonna be paying at least $900 to $1,000 to about $1,200. Like that's just common sense, I thought, at least. The only way, I mean, maybe you might get lucky, but I mean, Texas is pretty cheap, Georgia's pretty cheap, those southern states, like they're pretty cheap about rent. But you know, I know people in New York be paying $3,000 for a box. But I mean, if you stay in Texas, your rent, you can find a really nice home for about $1,200, you know, and that's a house, like $1,200 a month. If you rent like a home, that's like a real house, not a townhome. So it just really depends on the area, what day it is, what special you get, all of that. And yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. People ask me where I got my furniture from. I got all my furniture from Wayfair or Amazon. Those were it was just quicker. I didn't want to have to get a truck and deliver it. Those were just literally on my porch or in front of my door whenever I got home. My decorations probably came from Ross or Marshalls, at home, TJ Maxx, Walmart, all of that. And I think that's basically it. So make sure you guys, I'm gonna just reiterate everything I said, try to see if I remembered it. Make sure you find a place that's close to your job, or if you don't have a job, find a job before you move. Save at least 3 times the amount of your rent before you move. Do your research online, apartments.com, apartment list, all of that. See if the apartments have specials before you move. Sometimes if you have a longer lease, your rent is cheaper than a shorter lease. And watch out for playgrounds, because if you see playgrounds, that means that you have a lot of families, and it means a lot of kids at your apartment complex. I think that's basically it. Hopefully you guys like these videos and like these tips. And yeah, until next time, bye guys.